Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Let's Play Planet Coaster Project Globe Explorer here on Theme Park Worldwide. It's great to be back with yet another new episode. So in this video we're going to be starting work on the third themed area that will form part of my theme park. We started off with the entrance area, which is all themed to the United Kingdom, then started work on the Chinese themed area over the past couple of episodes, and we're going to be coming back to that later on with the addition of a dark ride. And then in this episode, we're working on the right-hand side of the lake, so the complete opposite end of where we was with the Chinese-themed area, and I'm starting work on a Spanish-themed area. So there we go. Yeah, and this is going to be real different to anything else in the park so far. It's going to be a Spanish town, and yeah, we're going to sort of build a really good theme and storyline all around that. But more about that later in the episode. Look at the coaster, what we're starting here. It's a Mack Rides double launch coaster, what's going to be going into place. Of course, the first launch is already in just there. I'm just doing a few tweaks to that to make sure it goes up into the first element at just the right speed. And I want this to be a really nice long coaster. And when you see it by the end of this episode, you're going to think, it's a massive ride. However, there's going to be a lot of theming around it to make it look fantastic. And trust me, it's not just going to be theming, it's going to be landscaping, loads of trees, rocks, loads of buildings that are all going to come together to make this one of the hopefully most prettiest rides I've ever built in Planet Coaster. That's what I'm really hoping for with this one. So yeah, it's going to be a large coaster. As you can see, a couple of the first elements are actually over the lake there as well. And the reason that I keep sort of coming back and hovering over the entrance area, again, it's all about just seeing how it looks both from on the ground and also from an aerial perspective as well. Because you know me, I like my projects to all just look the part. You know, things have to look great from the different areas. And as you saw, just that other inversion, it just didn't look quite right. So you can see I've changed that there. And yeah, it's going to be packed with inversions, packed with the two launches, and lots of near-miss elements. There's going to be a really nice intense helix on this ride, quite a few intense moments of airtime as well. It's just going to be the full package, this ride. Launches, inversions, airtime, near misses, it's going to be the full package, and that's what I wanted from this ride. It's not just going to be this ride that will form part of this area. There's going to be a couple of different flat rides going in as well, and you'll see them throughout the episode once the coaster's built. As always, once this is finished, I'll take you guys on board for a ride on the front row, and then in the next episode 8, it'll be crazy, and we'll work on the theming all around this. It might take a couple of episodes to get all the theming done around this, because like I say, it's going to be a massive job to put it all in. It's not just going to be trees and stuff around it. There's going to be a lot of buildings and a lot of close interactions. Really liking how it's looking though so far. You'll notice that I've put the path running straight through the middle, so you'll get some fantastic views of this coaster. I really want you to sort of feel like, wow, this massive coaster has taken over this small Spanish town, and that's all going to fit in with the theme for this one, because I've got a bit of an idea of what I want the theme to be. And like I say, in the next episode when we start working on the theming, that's when you'll really start to get an idea for it. So in terms of names for this ride, please hold off for now. Get your thinking caps on, but make sure if you are going to comment with a name, wait until the next episode again, so you can just sort of see the theme in and get a bit of a feel for it before you go in with your name. But yeah, like I say, I'm sure quite a few of you will think, launch coaster theme to Spain. Yes, we can call it this, but just hold off for now. Let's wait until the theming's done in the next episode with that one. So at this point, you can see that we're coming towards the end of the first section of the ride. Now, I don't think you'd be disappointed if that was the full ride there, to be honest, because there's a lot going on. But yes, it is a double launch coaster, very similar to Helix at Liseberg, except this is, of course, on a much bigger scale in terms of the height, and it's not on a hill yet. Along with that as well, Icon, Blackpool Pleasure Beach, that's a double launch coaster from Mack Rides. So, obviously there's a lot more elements than Icon packed into this ride. It is going to have some similar twists and turns towards the end, recommend, because I do like that section of Icon. But yeah, again, it's going to be completely different to any other Mack double launch coaster out there, and you can see the layout of that. It's not like anything else that you can see out there in a real theme park. But here we go. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone that has commented with your various different names for the 2 rides that are in the Chinese area. Like I say, I'm definitely not done with that area. There is going to be some form of dark ride going into that area at some point in the future. I don't know when that will be at the moment, but it will be going in there. And I must say, I'm loving people's suggestions for building like a replica of the Great Wall of China. So that is definitely something that I'm going to do, and build sort of the berm with that in that area. But yes, in terms of them names, we'll come on to those just now, so we can, let's hear what you guys have come up with in terms of the stories and the names behind them coasters. So, for the B&M Flawless, we've got Nolan Luther, a YouTube user, who's come up with the name Dragon Flight. And here's the story behind this one. A wise old man on top of a hill has been training dragons, but one goes out of control with you still on it, and you have to get it back under control. So there we go. That's the story behind Dragon Flight, the B&M Flawless coaster. Thanks for that one, Nolan. What I really like with that as well is how you used the fact that I built the station on top of a hill and you climb up the queue line to get to it. So I really do like that. So yeah, thank you very much for that one. Dragon Flight for the B&M Flawless. For the observation tower, Theo Draws came up with something fantastic. Really liked this one. Dynasty of the Sky. Be astounded by China's stunning views on Dynasty of the Sky. Keep an eye out for any dragons you may spot up in the air. 2 fantastic names there. So thank you to both of you for coming up with those. Really appreciate it. You guys are all awesome when it comes to coming up with storylines and themes for the rides that I build. And like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what people come up with for this area and the coaster itself. It's going to be fantastic when it's all themed, and already you can get an idea now on the scale of this coaster. Quite an intense helix there, up into a pop of airtime. Oh, look at that. And then you'll go round and sort of towards the finale of this ride, some more twists and turns. Of course, you've got to think some of these elements are going to be very close and inside buildings as well. This coaster is going to have a few indoor elements, especially both of the launches are actually going to be in buildings. So yeah, it's very hard to imagine at the moment, and I was the same when I was putting this all together, thinking, blimey, I know exactly, I had a sort of image in my head how I wanted it to look, but it's making it look like that, isn't it? And what's quite rare for me is I actually drew this out on paper, before how I wanted this to look. I mean, I never normally do that, but just because of the complex build that this is, with all the buildings and everything around it, I did sort of draw it on paper how I wanted it to look, because I had this vision of this hill with this coaster going up onto it and buildings hanging off the side of all the hills, and yeah, honestly, you can tell my brain's just overloaded with it, but it's nearly there. I have nearly finished work on the theming for this, and like I say, that will be coming in the next episode within the next week here on the channel. In terms of episodes, just a quick reminder, there's no set day for when Planet Coaster is uploaded to Theme Park Worldwide, but there will be at least one new episode within the week on the channel. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned for those. Like I say, it's getting very, very quick, this series, but I think we've accomplished a lot actually throughout these episodes. It's coming together really nicely, and the aim is sort of by December to get the first people inside this park and do a bit of a Christmas opening, and get people to experience it. As you can see, the coaster is nearly complete. Just connecting it up at the end there and making sure that it's all right, leveling it out, putting a few of the kicker wheels in just to make sure it makes it back. As you can see, it was a little bit wonky, so it's just using all the different tools to make it as smooth as possible. Should we take a ride on it? Because I think we should. Bear in mind, it's going to be very, very different when all the theming's in, and I will show you a POV of it once it's complete with all the theming, and we'll go back to all the rides I've built with some more POVs. But here we go. That's going to be a stop point. Of course, you're going to be in a building at this point, and off we go, launching straight out towards the lake, up into that first inversion there, into a very complex piece of track now with multiple inversions. Really do like that. It's carrying the speed great as it goes up. It's a really nice element where you're going to hang above the path underneath into a loop. And a nice bit of airtime there. More airtime as we head straight into that rolling second launch. To the incline loop. Oh, some great hang time and straight into the element there. A bit more smoothing might be needed on that, I think. Straight out of that intense helix into some more airtime and round into the brakes. There we go, really pleased with that. Like, I think, a bit more smoothing needed in some areas, but that can be done. And yeah, there we go, just by magic, an S&S swing has just appeared there for you all. That's one of the 2 flats that will form part of this area. But yeah, there you go. I think the coaster itself looks really good. But like I say, once all the theming's in, it's going to be completely different to what it is now. You got to think this Spanish town, has been taken over with all these big monstrous rides, and I think it's going to come together really nicely. It's working on the queue line just here now for the S&S swing, just so we can put all that in. Again, it's going to be very heavily landscaped all around from the path. This path that I'm putting in now isn't the exit to that. This is actually going to be just a random path where you can get a bit closer to the coaster. I really like sort of random paths just sort of go off where you can, especially like when you do YouTube and want to take photos and videos, where you can get close to the coaster. So that's exactly what this path is for, just so you can get close to the coaster. There's going to be nothing like on it. You can just sort of walk around there and get some really nice shots of the ride around there as well. As you can see, this is the second flat ride going in. A Huss top spin, why not? Let's put that in. That again is going to be heavily themed all around there and fit in with, there's going to be a large building just behind it that's going to house that second launch. But like I say, I sort of drew all this out on paper just so I could have an idea on positionings, because it's a big project. And you'll see in the next episode, once I've put like all of the the landscaping around it, why, you might think, oh, why didn't you put the hills in first? I always think it's easier to do your landscaping after. That's my little top tip for you from this episode. Do your landscaping after, unless you need to like dig a tunnel or a hole for your coaster to go in. It's much easier building hills and stuff around the coaster afterwards, in my opinion. But there we go, we have reached the end of this episode. Bit of a shorter one this time round, but like I say, it's all been focused on putting the coaster together. I thought I don't want to start the theme inside to it, partially into this episode. I thought, let's wait until the next episode and then we'll go full on. It'll be a longer episode, putting all the theming together. I thought I could start it in this one and merge it across the 2, but, trust me, I want you to all see it in one episode, how it transforms it from just that coaster itself that's very impressive, but into a full immersive Spanish-themed area. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode of Let's Play Planet Coaster, and that means it's time to cue those credits. See you in the next episode.